Welcome to the Neon Noise Podcast, your home for learning ways to attract more traffic to your website, generate more leads, convert more leads into customers, and build stronger relationships with your customers. And now, your hosts, Justin Johnson and Ken Franzen.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Neon Noise Podcast, where we discuss the latest marketing and sales tips, trends, ideas, and all that good stuff to help you with your business. Ken, what's going on today, buddy?
Oh, just looking forward to episode 12 here.
Episode 12. Wow.
Rounded off what is quote unquote the first season of the Neon Noise Podcast. So it's kind of exciting.
Heck yeah, man. That is exciting. That is awesome. Good stuff. Well, hey, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, we get a lot of questions, comments, concerns from people that call in about their website. And, generally those folks that are calling in, they have the same questions. It's, what can I do to improve my website? How can I make things better? So what we generally would do is take them through a marketing analysis, which doesn't take long. It's a 20 to 30 minute process normally. And then we would send them recommendations, suggestions on, different items that we can basically help them out and they can improve their website. So I thought that it would be cool if we did an online live marketing analysis for just a random website out there. What do you think?
All right. I say that this could be dangerous, but let's rock it.
We're going to help somebody out, hopefully.
Sure. Well, we've done plenty of these, so I'm not intimidated by the idea of doing this. It's just, who are we going to do?
Else out there, right?
Sure, exactly.
All right. So let's, first things first, let's pick an industry.
Why don't we,
let me get the Googs up really quick. Hold on. Let me get the Googs.
Let's do home builders.
Home builders. Why'd you choose home builders?
Because new homes are fun to look at.
All right.
Who doesn't like to look at new homes? So
even better. Let's pick a location that we can't afford a new home in.
All right. Well, there's lots of those, but how about we go with the Windy City? Let's go with Chicago.
Right down. All right. Hold on a minute here. I'm going to do a search for home builders in Chicago. Cool. All right.
So we're going to go with someone on the first page. Is that what we're going to do?
Ideally. So what I would like to do is I want to find somebody that has a good website already that they don't have to redo because we want to basically, the goal of this is to just find opportunities and whatnot that they, can enhance and that we can help them out with. So
sure,
I'm going to go down.
Something we can tweak, right? But not like get a website where this thing completely needs to be redone. That's not going to really help.
Plenty of those. All right. So here's Angie's list. We don't want you. We got Home Builders Association. We don't want you. Ryan Homes. Let me check this out real quick. Hold on a minute.
All right.
We're not going with this. So it needs.
Why did you choose not to do that one?
That's a full redesign.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So I got one here. Let's. This one's not bad. Hold on a minute. Let me just scroll through here for a minute. All right, cool. Go ahead and pull up OakleyHomeBuilders.com.
Oakley, like the sunglasses?
Yep, Oakley like the sunglasses. Like the shades.
All right, cool. All right.
Sweet. All right.
Nice photos. I like the pictures they got going on here.
They have awesome photos. They're using video already, which is kind of cool. The website looks like it's been redone. It's current. So cool. All right. let's dive into this a little bit. First things first, I'm going to just start, going through the site, and I'm going to look through the navigation and, see if they're doing any type of content marketing or anything along those lines. Initially, this is a website. This is somebody that would actually contact us because I see a few items that right out of the gate that they may not be doing unless I'm not finding them. They don't. Yeah, so they're not doing any blogging, which is kind of interesting. All right, let's just kind of go over some of the positives right out of the gate. The website's clean. It's a very, very, very clean professional site. This looks, it appears that they have photography that they've definitely hired a professional to do. We run into this more often than not where people will contact us and, what we're working with initially is very, very, very raw or rough or stock photos or anything along those lines. So thumbs up for the professional photography, very clean site. They're doing a fantastic job with the use of testimonials on here. It appears that they've got some really nice videos as well. When I go down here and I'm pulling up,
I do like the parallax.
The parallax
effects they have integrated. Those that don't know what parallax is, it's when you scroll down the page and the background moves at a different rate than the foreground image or items there. So it kind of has
some of these images that they have back in this backdrop are incredible. These look great.
Yeah, these are there's a lot of great imagery for sure. So why don't we start talking a little bit though about what if we were on the phone or we were meeting with the individuals at Oakley, what would be you made mention of the blog.
There's two items that stick out like sore thumbs. All right. Right out of the gate we've been on this site for 2 minutes. Okay. I don't see a blog anyplace, which obviously that's something that we definitely would want to talk to them about. And I definitely see a lack of opportunity for individuals like myself if I'm looking to build a home, to give them my information. I want to be able to give them info. I want to be able to give them my name and my email address and my phone number. And I don't see a whole lot of opportunity right now with what they currently have in order to do that.
Nope. I'm seeing a form on the contact us page, and we're going under the assumption that they would be interested in generating leads,
leads. Right.
More traffic, more leads, everything else of that age. So as this conversation goes, anyone that says, well, maybe they just have this website out there to showcase their work and they're busier than they can handle their capacity.
And that's a possibility. Absolutely.
Point taken. But for the sake of this exercise, we're going to assume
that they want some more. They want to sell some more houses, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and they do. So they've got 2 areas right now on here for conversions. The contact form, and it looks like this design your home also goes over, and eventually we'll get you over to this form. It is kind of a longer. There's a lot of fields, and generally, if this is something that if I'm looking for a home builder. And I start doing my research and everything, and I'm building my house in a year or 2 years. I'm just out there doing some research. The chances of me filling out a form like this is relatively low.
Sure.
I would fill out something if there were if there was a reason for me to fill it out. If there was like a home resource guide or building kit or just something along those lines where, I want a little bit more information maybe on cost or, what's included in my kitchen or bathroom or anything along those lines where I can actually see some of that, I would give them a little bit of my information in order to get that in exchange.
Sure. Now, I think you'd agree with me. These aren't your average homes. These are these are premium
really
homes.
Nice homes. Yeah.
Sure. So when I look at this, and obviously we're looking at something visual, everyone else is listening to us, but I do encourage everyone to go to the website. But I think one thing would be really cool to have on a site like this, especially for these premium type homes, because my first thing is, wow, how much does this cost? How much, what is it going to take for me to get into this type of home?
Right.
So what if they had like a calculator of some sort that allowed me to, obviously it's going to be guesstimates, just rough, where maybe they had a couple different floor plans that were general, model type things. I mean, this looks like everything they do is custom, but they could at least use maybe 3 different options of styles of homes that had particular square footage that you could maybe adjust, and then select some different options, such as what you wanted for the exterior, or some interior options like countertops and flooring, and then it kicks back whether it's price per square foot or it's a general ballpark of how much that would cost. Yeah, I think a tool like that would be super helpful on a site like this, that they could use as a point of entry for those that might be at the top or middle of funnel, like you talked about, not quite ready to schedule that appointment, sit down, let's start talking details, but someone that's looking for a little bit more information, they're conducting their research, right?
They're doing their research. I would definitely fill that out. There's no question that, if this is something that I come to the website and I'm looking at these homes, they look extremely nice. They're, this is something that I would eventually want to build. I want to know how much it's going to cost. And I would definitely use a tool like that. Even if I'm planning on doing something from, 12 months out or 24 months out, for sure.
Sure. Now you made mention about a resource, like a guide. You're talking about like an ebook is that what you're
Yeah. So, I mean, do you know all the steps, when you're building a home? No. I built a house 3 years ago, and there is so much information that they don't tell you anything about. So, why not incorporate some type of a resource guide, like a home building toolkit, which is a checklist that can go through everything that you can think of, timelines and permitting and just all the goofy stuff that people probably are not aware of, that, it's just all you're doing is educating these people. The more and more and more that you're going to educate them, the more that obviously they're going to, build credibility and trust in your business. And, when the time comes to build that house, hopefully you've done your job and they eventually build with you, right?
Absolutely. Well, talk about a little bit about your process when you built your home, Justin. You chose a builder.
I chose a builder.
Why did you choose that builder?
My real estate agent, and that was the main reason. They
recommended the builder?
Yeah, so they recommended the builder. And, we went and we looked at the model home that they had. Obviously you go down, you sit down, you look at everything else that they have available. But I can tell you one thing, that there's so much more that you're just not aware of. When you get into that building process, and I think of, when we went out and we looked at our lot. Okay. You pick your home, and then, when we were having the house built, I remember talking to my wife, and I was just like, honey, we have no backyard. We literally have like 15 feet of backyard. And, we just kind of assumed, because there's no other houses built at the time, that, you're going to have a nice big backyard and stuff along those lines. But, just learning where like your house is going to sit on your lot and stuff like that, where I know it sounds ridiculous. Like, why would somebody want to know about that stuff? But I can guarantee you one thing, that if there was any information like that available to us before we started our building process, we would have made adjustments. So,
okay. So the knowledge would have came in handy, right?
The knowledge would have came in handy. And, you could compile all of that, all of those questions that people come and ask, and everything into this, resource building toolkit checklist type of guide that, people would definitely find value in.
And I'd have to think that there's not every builder has that type of checklist. So creation of such a resource would obviously be a feather in your cap as far as being the brand that put that forth.
Yeah.
You build that credibility, and the things we speak about all the time are how do you build that rapport earlier in the buyer's journey.
Right.
And these top of funnel resources that aren't salesy, they're educational and helpful.
Right.
But you're branding, you're the person that's bringing that forth to them, that information. And so that, not only you're capturing their information because it's probably going to be a gated offer,
right.
But additionally, you're allowed to, or you're going to then continue to market to them, but you're building that credibility that's so important at the beginning and establishing that buying criteria. Because if you look at this builder here, hey, you might be looking at this particular builder and you might be looking at another builder who isn't, maybe still considers themselves a premium home builder, but they're not quite cranking out the same level of their premium definition is different than the next premium definition, right?
Everybody's just different.
And so the hardest part about being a consumer is identifying the differences in apples and oranges. And you want to make sure that when you're making a comparison, it's apples and apples or oranges and oranges. And so that type of information, super valuable.
Extremely valuable, and so those are two items that we've, talked about, doing some type of a cost estimator or a calculator, and then having, some type of a resource guide, whether it's a home, building toolkit, or, there's so many different things that you could do if you're a home builder. The phases of planning and building your new home. You could have, you could actually create three separate documents and have that be a resource. Trends and predictions for residential construction. There's just so many different things that you could do, in order to, put yourself out there, build more credibility and trust in your business.
Sure. Now, since we're on the topic of conversion opportunities, what is your thoughts? Because they do have some bottom of funnel. They have the contact us page.
They do.
Form there. I think I'd like to see at least some more CTAs or at least a CTA to that, or because the only way I'm seeing to get to that bottom of funnel form
is through the contact page.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. There's a couple other glaring items like right out of the, right off the top of the website. They've got a really nice header. They've got a really nice logo in place. They've got their navigation up there. There's no phone number, which is mind-boggling to me. But so up top, put your bottom funnel offer up there, because people are going to want to call you. People are going to want to fill out a form. So I would definitely recommend having a schedule a free consultation, come in for a visit, whatever, up there in your header, along with a nice big phone number, so that your website visitors can easily get to you if they want to.
I agree. Another thing that I'm noticing while we're focusing on the top of the site, I'm looking at this on my 13-inch laptop.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, so you're probably looking at it on a giant.
I'm looking at it
on
a giant screen, but I'm going to pull it up on mobile too. So let's take a
well,
peek.
We'll jump on the mobile here in a second. But the one thing that I'm noticing while you pull that up is on my display, when I first pull up the homepage, what I see above the fold, and above the fold is what you see when you visit a website before you begin scrolling, that real estate there pre-scroll.
Right.
And what I see is their CTA or their headline over their hero image, this beautiful home. All I see is the very top of your dream home.
Yeah.
Without scrolling, and you can't see the bottom of the Y, so it's, and I know it says your dream home.
Sure.
But I can't see ... our vision.
Bumping that up above the fold, and then, having some type of a backdrop behind that, so it actually stands out. But just obviously positioning it above the fold for what you're looking at would be extremely important.
I agree. And I think that headline could be connect a little bit more with the targeted buyer persona. So if we're looking at
CTA, preferably.
And include a CTA for
Yep.
sure, but they're a little bit more focused on your dream, our vision. It's nice. It feels good, but I think that we could have something that's a little bit more impactful.
Right.
Coming up with a headline off the top of my head, it's escaping me. Something that we put a little bit more thought into when we're doing these, but really kind of speaking to something about the fact that they're a premier home builder,
Right.
catered to XYZ. Basically who they are, what their value proposition is, and specifically what the benefit to me and why should I even consider scrolling. Right now I'm going to scroll because I want to see what the rest of that word, that headline says. Maybe that's purposeful. Maybe that they're smarter than I think. But I think that it's just hey, this is that top of or the above the fold real estate that's truly
super important. You need a CTA in there. I mean, put that home building toolkit in there. Sure. That would be powerful.
Sure. Absolutely.
The mobile site looks good. But again,
is it basically just displaying the same? I don't have my phone with me.
Yeah, so it's display. I mean, we've got the logo at the top and your navigation. Again, I mean, I don't know how to get a hold of them. It would be really, really helpful if there was a phone number on here that I could click that, I'm on mobile. If I want to talk to these individuals, I could just click on that and call them right away. But it goes from, it's got the nice hero image, which you can see their tagline in there, and then directly below that it goes into portfolio and their videos, featured properties that they've got listed. I mean, the mobile site, the mobile version is really clean. It looks nice. But again, it's just the lack of ways for me to actually give them my information is what stands out again.
All right, let's move down this homepage a little bit. Let's check out. So they have a portfolio, and kudos to them. They have a portfolio. It's just chock filled with just beautiful
amazing
photography.
Stuff. Yep.
I mean, if you want to showcase what you're doing here, this is done well. What about the design your home? Let's check that out.
So this would be an amazing spot to do, your cost estimator, with your different plans and whatnot that you were referring to a little bit ago.
Sure.
If I had the ability to plug in, look at 3 different models or 5 different models and plug in some criteria for my budget and whatnot and get something fed back to me here, that would be a very, very valuable tool for me to be able to use.
All right. So I've clicked through from that page, the Oakley difference.
Yep.
And I'm now I clicked on the design tips. So this is kind of cool because design tips is kind of a top of funnel type item, right?
Where'd you see design tips? I'm missing that.
You gotta, if you're on the Oakley difference.
Okay.
Design.
Okay.
Yeah. Down at the bottom
Perfect.
left.
Perfect.
All right. So here we have some top of funnel, some educational recommendations that can be reviewed by a site visitor, and maximize your space. Dead space costs money. Add architectural detail to ceilings and openings.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff here. Really, really, really good stuff.
Turn it into a guide.
Yeah. So
these are things that you want to turn into a resource guide that people will definitely find value to.
I bet you, yeah, because if you think about this, they have some great bullet points here. I know that there's more to it than this. Yeah. They probably have a lot more to offer up. And if I read this, we look at a landing page. Yeah, landing page is a big component of the inbound methodology, component of that overall methodology. This would be an awesome landing page. The headline, the design tips could be a little bit stronger, but the information that we talk about here, and they feed us with a desire for more. And unless I'm ready to start designing my dream home now, which is the button that they have there on the page,
Right.
I'm not going to do anything more with this. So you're right. I think that if you were to take this and create a guide, an ebook, some type of downloadable PDF that's gated with the exchange of, what would you say? Keep it simple, right? Not a lot of forms. We don't want to pull a lot of info, right?
Just do real simple. Do first name and email address. Let's keep it extremely simple.
Right, because that's all we need at this point.
That's all we
to
want
get
at this
them.
point.
We want to learn more about them.
Yeah. We want to be able to get that information from them when they come to our website, and then we eventually would obviously start doing some type of a lead nurturing email campaign to these individuals and send them out more stuff about Oakley Home Builders.
Well, exactly, and that's also going to help weed out for them who are actually potential buyers and who are someone like Ken or Justin here looking at these nice homes, and we're not really ever going to be in the market for them.
Right.
You don't want to have a salesperson following up on leads to someone that isn't going to be your target buyer persona. So that lead nurturing campaign, there's no need for the phone number. There's no need for any more information. Get that email address and try to weed out who is a good prospect or lead and who's not.
All right. So design tips. Off of design tips, we've got the Oakley difference, FAQs, useful links. They've got the start designing your dream home now. Where is that linking to? Okay,
it just goes to the contact us.
That's another keep it simple, right?
Yeah, they are asking for a lot, but I guess I don't mind if it's a bottom of funnel to ask for a little bit more information.
Yeah, but okay, all right. So this is kind of cool, all right? Actually look at, the information that they have on this contact form. These are the items that we want to take and plug into our cool little calculator. You could tie all this in very, very, very easily into this nice little, quiz about the individuals that are coming to that want to have a home built by Oakley Home Builders. I love it. You got bedrooms, you got number of bathrooms.
I like the budget because if you add that to the calculator, then you could actually spit out, hey, here's some options within your target budget. I mean, they have an option here for 0 to 600,000.
Right. You can give them options, and then we can put those individuals into different buckets and send them information based off of what their budget is.
Yeah, I like it.
You can do a lot with that.
No, that's a great idea. I do think, but you're right. A lot of that information there, but I don't mind it being on the contact us.
No, I don't either.
If it's someone that hasn't entered in, if they are coming in as a bottom of funnel first time visitor, you want to gather that information well, right?
You absolutely do.
Now, we made mention of the blog earlier, but obviously the blog would be helpful in generating more traffic. So far, we've talked a lot about conversion opportunities, the traffic that's already on the site, and how do we get them into
funnels and such. But yeah, you're right. So number 2 would be the blog. If they come to us and, hey, we've established that it's not they're getting enough conversions already or something along those lines, but maybe they're looking for more traffic, then that would be an area where, your blog is going to allow you, it's just the most natural way that you're going to get additional people to your website. So, I'm not seeing anything anyplace. Maybe this in the news is their blog.
Okay. Where are you finding that? Because it's not
under more.
Oh, they got some more navigation options there. All right, cool. So we do have a blog here. All right, we have House announces 2017 Best of Award winners. All right, so everyone that is basically on House gets that. We have lots of clients that get that award, and they position that. Hinsdale Living Readers Vote. All right, so these are a lot of things that they were in the news about, but this is all great recognition. But to get the reason why we would bring up the blog and active blogging
more traffic to your site.
Exactly. And that's going to be done through creating remarkable content, things that are just going to be valuable pieces of information for those that are looking to have a new home built in the Chicago area. And it's where you do that in hopes of 2 things. One, it gets indexed by the search engine such as Google for those particular keywords.
Right.
And then secondly, just the share factor. If you write some really kick-ass copy and you start talking about, even if you start showcasing some of your more recent builds here. I mean, you got a great portfolio, but what if you were to take the most recent build? I mean, I look under this Beach Homes. I was clicking on this and go to Beach Homes Lake Michigan. I don't know if you've ever been to Lake Michigan before. But
I have, and I have not seen any homes like this.
This is definitely cool.
These are awesome.
But it would be cool to get like a backstory on this if they did.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. They do have a little bit more information. $2.75 million.
Okay, so here's a perfect example. Why not take this, and make a blog post out of this, and include all the. I mean, they've already done the hard part. They've got amazing photography. So, I mean, you could craft a nice post around this, and then have your call to action offers and stuff like that we talked about earlier published on your blog post as well, to obviously help get additional people into your marketing funnel.
Yeah, because you could share this page. It's not we definitely could share this page. They have awesome videos and obviously the photography we keep talking about, but in a decent write up. And so, you could take this and split it out into an individual blog post and do these a lot more of their properties.
Sure.
Those would make great blog posts, and I would share the crap out of this thing, right? Because I'm in awe, and I want to basically call up my wife and be like, "Hey, check this out," and you're going to work late tonight. But
work late tonight. Share
the blogs that share this with your friends, right? Exactly. But the blog topics that we would be talking about really would require some keyword research.
Sure,
but some keywords targeted towards that buyer persona, right?
Yeah, think all the stuff that you could do. I mean, just new homes versus renovations, building trends in Chicago for 2017, or building trends in Lake Michigan, kitchen design and trend, Chicago home builders. Just there's so many different things that you could be publishing that are going to get people to those different posts.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I could think of if you wanted to specifically target the niche of builders for Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
You could completely go bonkers on that. And if you're thinking about, hey, how do I have $2.75 million and I need to build a new house in Lake Michigan. Where do I start? You just can't call. You could call any builder, but if I'm going to spend that kind of cheddar on a new home build on Lake Michigan, obviously this is going to be some type of big event in my life. I want to make sure I make the right choice. And this is going to be a process. I'm pretty thorough in deciding who is going to be. And if I start doing searches and I find someone that's done something along these lines, they're getting a phone call from me. No doubt. Yes. No ifs, ands, or buts. But I have to be able to find them. Now, we just went with, what was the keyword search you did? Home builders in Chicago?
I did home builders, Chicago. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So maybe they're showing up already great on the search engines for Lake Michigan home builders. I don't know, but I'm just using that as an example of why a blog post would be beneficial specifically to helping them gain that type of exposure to that type of searcher, right?
Yeah.
But the suggestions you made were great.
Naples too, right? Just in case you want to get out of the cold. Apparently they build in Florida as well.
Oh boy. Very nice. Very nice. That's kind of a long commute from Chicago, but I'm sure that they'd travel
clearly
to
they're
Naples
staying
to build
someplace else in the wintertime.
Absolutely. All right, cool. So what else? We've gone through quite a bit here so far. What else?
So let's see. What have we've gone through possibly doing a calculator, some resources. We've talked about shortening up some of their contact forms. We've talked about their blog. Setting up a resources area on the site would be extremely beneficial. I think that we've talked about a handful of different ideas that they could come up with, and gate those offers. As long as I am, I see value in all this information, and I'm absolutely going to plug in some information in exchange to get those documents. So I think that we, do like a planning guide for your home, trends for residential construction, stuff along those lines, do any cost comparison guides or anything along those lines that would be helpful for the potential person that wants to build your home.
No, this is cool. Yeah, I'm glad we did this. Obviously, like I made mention before, you're listening to this podcast. You might be driving your vehicle somewhere or running on the treadmill at the gym, something along those lines where you can't really look at the website, but maybe re-listen to the podcast when you get in front of a computer, pull up the site and maybe go through the different things we recommend, because I think that you could get a lot of value from just how we went through and what we looked at, what we saw, what we found great, what we found, and you could measure that against your own site. Correct. And say, hey, cool, this is how, even if you're not a home builder, you could be any type, the general ideas here apply across the boards. Exactly. And see how you could make those adjustments and leverage that traffic, build more traffic. But then again, with the blog and obviously social media outreach, we even touch on that, but you can't really see that from the site alone. But the conversion opportunities and how you could take something like this, which is already a very nice website, and make it even better with just a couple clicks, a couple notches, right?
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's probably about it on this site here today, unless you have anything additional, Ken.
No, I think we've covered it. I think we did a thorough job, and we'll have to reach out to the
I'm
home builders.
Definitely going to suggest that we reach out to Oakley Home Builders and see if nothing else, that we can pass along some tips and suggestions, and maybe help them out a bit.
Hopefully they don't get mad.
Hopefully they don't get upset. Guys, we have plenty of leads and we don't need anything.
Right, exactly. So
I love it. All right, awesome, man. Great suggestions, great tips. This was a cool exercise. And again, just remember that, you can apply a lot of these, same tips to, any different market that you're in, and you don't have to be a home builder. So, okay, guys, so that's a wrap for today. Please reach out and let us know if you need any help with creating a marketing analysis for your website. We will be publishing a link to the free marketing analysis in the show notes at neongoldfish.com/podcast. Until next time, this is Justin and Ken with Neon Noise. We're out of here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Neon Noise Podcast. Did you enjoy the podcast? If so, please subscribe, share with a friend, or write a review. We want to cover the topics you want to hear. If you have an idea for a topic you'd like Justin and Ken to cover, connect with us on Twitter at Neon Goldfish or through our website at neongoldfish.com.